What is up, guys? Cytromonome here, and today I thought I'd show you how I draw Polandball comics using Adobe Photoshop CC. Pretty much all the Photoshop versions are the same. So what I'm gonna do is make a new document. I usually go with something from 600 to 1000 pixels in width, so I'm gonna go with 800 this time, and the height of 400 or no 500. So this is basically the size of one panel. Now we're gonna start to draw our characters. Now there are some tools you want to change before start drawing. Like the brush tool, you want to set it to the pencil by just holding down on the brush. You want to change the quick selection tool to magic wand tool and turn the anti-aliasing off and set the tolerance to 0. The same goes for the gradient tool. You want to replace that with the bucket tool. Set the tolerance to 0 and make sure anti-aliasing isn't checked. The same goes for any selection tools, and the eraser. You want to set it to pencil instead of brush. So what I'm gonna do is create a new layer. I'm gonna select the brush, and by pressing Alt and right click and moving the cursor sideways, you can change the diameter of the brush. So I'm gonna zoom in, change the brush size to maybe 7 pixels. Now I'm just gonna draw a circle, a sphere. So maybe it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. Now I'm gonna change the diameter to something smaller, like just 1 pixel smaller. And then I'm gonna draw the eyes. So beautiful. Now what I'm gonna do is open up my web browser. I'm gonna search for a country like Sweden. And sometimes you will get this info box. If you don't, just go to the Wikipedia article of Sweden. You copy the flag, copy picture. Now if you paste the flag, you'll see that it gets its own layer, so it's easy to delete once we've used it. So now if I select the background color of the flag, the color that the flag has most of, and then go into the layer where the ball is, I'll just fill in the area where I want the blue. Now we want to draw the foreground of the cross. We can just select the blue with the magic wand tool, make sure you have the tolerance set to 0. We can select the yellow color, and now we'll draw the outline of the cross. You'll notice that when I draw, it doesn't draw over the eyes, since I only selected the blue color. Now I like to draw the flags a bit curved, so you can get the impression of that the character actually is a ball. So now when we've drawn the outlines, we can just simply fill them in with the bucket tool. And there you have it, your simple creation. If you notice, if you are drawing with another color, on the layer behind, we haven't actually colored the eyes. So just make the eyes white. Now we've used the flag, so we can pretty much delete the layer. Now something that's a nice touch that really improves the drawing, in my opinion, is adding shadow. And that can be done fairly easily in Photoshop. So what you want to do is create a new layer, and you want to draw something like where you would like the shadow to be and look like this. Then you will continue to trace around the outline of the ball. Remember that this is a new layer, so it won't affect the actual drawing we made in the first place. And fill this in. Oops, we missed some there. And there. Now you can set the opacity of the layer to something lower, like 50%. Now we have our nice shadow. We can also do this underneath the ball to get an impression of the ground he's standing on. fill that in as well. You can see that what I've drawn is a closed loop, so we can just fill that in. Now we have some nice shadow on our character. For the text, I usually use the font Arial with the style bold. We can have it say time for fika. We can change the size to something a bit larger and more easily readable. And I like to add speech lines, so if you have a lot of characters, you can tell which characters are saying what. So now that's pretty much it. If you want this to be one panel, you can use different style of outlines for the frames. You could just draw something like a freehand box, or you could do a shape using the rectangle tool. You simply draw this on your entire picture, and then we can set the fill to transparent, set the outline to black, and have the alignment inwards. Now we can change the size of the line to something like maybe 5 pixels. So now if you want to do another panel, you just use the crop tool, drag out the image, or go to image, canvas size, and edit the height to something like, if you want to double, if you want another panel that's the exact same size, you just double this value here. If you want 2 new panels, you just times this value here by 3, so you can have 1500. And this anchor point decides from where the additional space will be added. So if we select the top, all our new height will be added down below. Now this rectangle that we created, we can just simply copy that by holding down the Alt key, using Shift to align it exactly. Now we have 2 new panels that we can use and draw something else in. So that's everything for this time. You can comment down below if you want me to cover something else, or explain something further that you didn't really understand. So I will see you next time. Take care.